Good Sunday night. I am Thabo Mbali, and thank you for joining us. Good to be with you this Sunday. Let's begin here. Voting has concluded at the 7th Mangaung Regional Conference in Bloemfontein in the Free State. 5 members have officially been elected after they were not contested. Only one position, that of the deputy chairperson, is still being voted on. For more on this story, let us now take you live to our reporter Mbali Thethani, who's on the ground. Mbali, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. How are things progressing in terms of the elections?
Well, Thabo, it has been a very eventful couple of days here in Mangaung, and of course we now know that this part of the conference, which many are saying is the legitimate conference which is taking place in Mangaung. Of course, we now know that we've seen those nominations which took place this evening, and at least 4 of those positions were uncontested. So this conference now at least has 4 duly elected leadership, also including its chairperson, Lawrence Mathe. He, of course, will then lead this region. But we now know that what is also outstanding for this conference, Thabo, is the announcement when it comes to who will be Lawrence's deputy chairperson. So we now, as delegates continue, to participate in this conference, they've broken off into their commissions, and also they then await the outcomes of that announcement when it comes to who will then be the deputy chairperson for the Mangaung region. But let's take a listen to what the newly elected chairperson, Lawrence Mathe, had to say earlier on when we spoke to him about just a couple of days that have gone through, especially with the likes of another parallel conference taking place while this conference is underway. Let's take a listen.
It has been an eventful day. We had to go through plenary session because we considered the organizational report and so forth. And we broke into commissions to consider certain commissions. I'm really happy that the conference is going smooth. We did not come here to elect ourselves, but we had to consider all relevant matters that pertains to the life of the organization. And members have expressed their view that can't just sit here. Let's go to commissions and consider various policy positions of the organization.
Thabo, many are not surprised by the outcomes which we've seen in this specific conference, and you'd know that those who have come back into the position of the regional structure were also members of the IRC and are also members of this organization in this region who also are said to be those who support the convener of this province. His name is Mbali vying for the position of chairperson of the province when this province eventually goes into its conference. Let's also then take a listen to what the chairperson, the newly elected chairperson, Lawrence Mathe, had to say when it comes to these 2 outstanding positions. We know that one is a female and the other is a male, and the ANC then continues to try and see even more women being elected into the top leadership. So far, in the top 4 that we have seen, there is one woman, and of course another woman will be vying for the position of deputy chairperson in this region. Let's take a listen to Lawrence.
Well, there are 2 contestants for that position. Voting is currently underway, as comrades will be, and delegates will be going back to their commissions to complete the task of the day. But we are hopeful that whatever outcome that is tested through a proper voting process will be acceptable to all the delegates to this conference, whether it's a he or she, but it's neither here nor there.
Well, of course, that is Lawrence once more, the newly elected chairperson. The outcomes of this conference, very important for this province. As we also know, Thabo, there is another conference taking place, the conference of Lizweli-Putswa. It started off today, and they are expecting to see its top 5 being elected tomorrow. But when it comes to the outstanding position for this conference, we're only expecting that announcement to be announced later on this evening.
Now, Mbali, as far as the IPC is concerned, are they hopeful they'll be able to deal with the divisions that are emerging there from that Mangaung region?
Well, Thabo, they are saying that when it comes to the problems that plagued this region, because earlier on we did speak to the other faction, and many are saying that that is of the coordinator in this province. His name is Baseka, and also being also linked to the likes of Thabo Manyoni, who also then vied for the position of provincial chair in 2017. He went up against Ace Makashule, but it seems as if they have now joined hands and they've joined forces, and of course they would want their faction to emerge, but they continue to even dispute the conference which is taking place here, which was given the green light by the High Court in the Free State to go ahead. And it just tells you about the major divisions that continue to plague this region, and a very important region, because this is, one would say, the economic hub for the Free State. So a number of people, then you would see that this largely a very hot contestation continuing to plague this region, because you would know that they also play a very important role in the province as a whole. They are part of the big three biggest regions in this province. So even their numbers going into a provincial conference, they would be quite significant, and will also play a major role in terms of who ascends to the chairperson of this province.
Yeah, indeed. And is it time yet, or have you seen the national dispute resolution mechanism intervention in this particular issue?
Well, speaking to the IPC, they've said that when it comes to the Dispute Resolution Committee, they've been also playing a very large role when it comes to making sure that this region goes to a conference. And even speaking yesterday to Mqolisi Dukwana, also coming here to tell this conference that when it comes to the disputes that were before this region, those disputes have been already cleared by the Disputes Resolution Committee for this province, and they don't understand why the other faction of this region continues to say that, those disputes have not been dealt with. And you'd remember, Thabo, this is not even the first court action we saw just before this regional conference started. Even earlier on, they disputed the IPC, and they said that the IPC's term of office had lapsed. They also disputed the IRC, also saying that their time had lapsed and this matter had to be taken back to Luthuli House. But in terms of where the IPC stands at the moment, they are clear, and they say that when it comes to the disputes in this region and for this conference, those have been cleared, giving the green light for this conference to sit and go ahead.
Mbali Thethani, appreciate you. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. That's Mbali Thethani live for us in Mangaung there, reporting on the situation of what's going on the ground.